Fortnite is an incredibly complex game, so nobody improves without picking up some bad habits along the way. You'll be able to get away with it for a while, but then at some point you'll notice that it's your bad habits that are holding you back from progressing. But when trying to fix the habits, people waste their time because they don't know how to break habits or even how habits form in the first place. So here's how to actually change your bad habits. The first thing you need to understand is that you can't separate your habits into good and bad. All of your habits were useful at some point, which is why you developed them. It's just that some of them became maladaptive as you improve and play against better players. For example, hopping in boxes for 50-50. If that's a habit you have, it's because most of the time it would work for you. If the opponents aren't that good, then 95% of the time they don't hit hard and you're rewarded for doing it. So naturally you'll do it again and again. The problem is that it becomes maladaptive as you get better and therefore play against better players. That 95% starts to go down to 70, then 60, then less than 50% against top players. Or take repeatedly reboxing the heal. Against worse players, they'll be too slow to pressure you so you can actually get your heals off, which is why it becomes such a strong habit. But against better players, they'll be able to constantly keep up the pressure and never give you enough time to heal regardless of how many boxes you make. If they're still on you after reboxing 2 or 3 times, they're still going to be on you after you rebox 5, 6, or even 7 times. If you want that time to heal, you're going to have to deal return damage or you'll just run out of mats eventually. Even in traditional sports like basketball, that one guy on the court that looks like he's falling over every time he shoots, guaranteed gets buckets. At some point, like if they were trying to go to the NBA or something, it would become a maladaptive habit, but until then, it's a useful habit for them. All of our habits, maladaptive or not, we depend on because they are a solution to a problem. The problem is the opponent trying to heal. The solution? Jump in the box and force a 50-50. We're always going to try and solve the problem the most effective way we know how. So if we want to change the habit, either our current solution needs to stop being as effective, or we need a different solution to become more effective. And the only way our current solution is going to stop being as effective is if you play against better opponents. If you have this option, it's great, as you'll get punished for all your maladaptive habits, even the ones you don't recognize. But if you don't, the other option is to make a different solution more effective. So if you want to stop hopping in boxes, for example, you'll need to get good enough at pressuring that the opponent can't ever heal, regardless of how many boxes they make. Until you get that good at pressuring, you'll just revert back to hopping in. Same thing with reboxing over and over. The problem reboxing solves is allowing you to heal when you're on low HP. The solution that needs to eclipse it is shooting the opponent from safe peaks. If your peaks aren't good enough, you'll just get shot and die, leading you to keep reboxing the next time it happens. It's even for things like overpeaking. The problem that overpeaking solves is you shooting and breaking your own wall instead of hitting the enemy. So if you get your aim good enough that this isn't a problem, you'll naturally find yourself overpeaking less and less. And when I say either make the current solution less effective or another solution more effective, it's not strictly one or the other. Most of the time it's a combination of the two that's most effective. You probably don't have the connections to 1v1 pros whenever you feel like, but playing against opponents that actually challenge you is still better than 10-0ing people you already know you're better than. Another big help, and I can attest to this personally, is clipping and re-watching your mistakes. After you die, especially if it was from a dumb mistake, it's easy to just go, I already know what I messed up, I don't need to rewatch it, it was stupid. But that's exactly when you need to rewatch it. You're mentally trying to just go next game and forget about it as fast as possible, but dwelling on and remembering the mistake is what will remind you next time you're in that situation to not make the same mistake. Like if you only die 1 in 20 times from overpeaking, watching it over again and again when it does happen reinforces and makes it feel like it happens more often than it does. So the next time you're about to overpeak, the thought of what happened last time comes into your mind so you think twice. This still won't make your habits change overnight, but it will allow you to change much faster than without any intentionality at all. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to the new members directly supporting me. It means a lot, and I actually have some ideas for how I can pump out videos faster than the 2 weeks it normally takes me. So I'll be working on that. Until then, farewell.